Good morning or good afternoon, everyone, depending on what time zone you're in. I'm Carolina Rendeiro, CEO of Connect to Global, and I also have the distinct honor of serving as the Honorary Consul of Portugal here in Miami, Florida. So you are in tune here and ready to get set and have full energy after this session. We have worked very hard to really focus on women, and this idea came out of no one other than Janet Morais, and it's a perfect example of how we women can work with each other and really empower each other and lift each other up, because we know how to network, okay? And we know how to help each other, and we nurture people, okay? So that's what we do well. And so Janet and Angela had planned this for a while, and they were just missing a few pieces. And then my name was thrown into it on how can we connect these pieces and how can we launch this endeavor, this alliance, this passion that we all have of empowering women. And here we are. And we're first. We are first. It's the first time in 29 years of PALCUS that we have a full executive board of women. It's a first in this conference itself, that this is the largest attending Zoom attendance that we have from the entire conference thus far. So women, get ready, brace yourselves, fasten your seatbelts, and I'm going to pass it over to my partner in crime, one of the trio, Janet Morais. Thank you, Janet.
Thank you, Carolina. Hello. Sejam bem-vindos to the PALCUS 2020 Biannual National Conference. As you know, this session is on Portuguese women empowering each other. I want to thank PALCUS for this initiative to bring us together virtually and allowing us to embrace our Portuguese heritage in a different way. I am, as Carolina stated, Janet Morais, and I am a Portuguese American woman. Now, in life, there are moments where you stop and ask yourself, how did I get here? When I ask this question, I find myself going back to my Portuguese roots and to the many women who have influenced my life. It is no secret that opportunities for women often come from other women, and that we are essential to the progress and development of one another and our communities. Several years ago, I traveled to Portugal in search of creative talent and exceptional handcrafted products to be distributed in the United States. What I came back with was a handful of Portuguese brands in the home decor sector, 18 new pairs of shoes, and a dying desire to share my country's products with my girls in the US. So I launched Koket, a luxury furnishing brand with a mission to empower women through design, content, and experiences. Now, you may be wondering, how can furniture empower women? Well, you know that feeling you get when you're surrounded by beauty and seduced by color and texture, just like a great pair of shoes? Or have you ever sat in a chair that perfectly embraced your form? These are the feelings that you get when you feel empowered. I have always had this internal power to be able to empower women through actions. I have been able to do this with Koket while sourcing all of my creative talent and exquisite hand craftsmanship from Portugal. But empowering through objects is just part of my mission. Content and experiences came next with the Love Happens. Love Happens is a magazine, digital and print, where I share my passion for design, fashion, travel, and beyond. And though I love men and I cherish their position in our society, I am a woman and I like girl power, especially Portuguese girl power. So much of our content is dedicated to empowering women. We have worked hard to get to where we are today in a male-dominated society. And I want to do all that I can to motivate women to support one another and to leave their mark in the world, especially those of Portuguese descent, which is what led me to create the Love Happens Intern Mentorship Program, where I bring young women from the US to work in Portugal and young women from Portugal to work here in the United States. It has been an amazing cross-cultural experience to watch these girls learn and explore opportunities in these countries. The success of these ventures made me believe that we could be doing more. So I reached out to my longtime friend, Angela Costa Simões, and told her I wanted to create an alliance to bring women with ties to Portugal and the United States together. And before I could go any further, Angela mentioned Carolina Rendeiro. 2 days later, the three of us were sharing ideas, experiences, and inspiring each other in 3 different parts of the world. A strong alliance was made with passionate Portuguese American women coming together with a mission to create a global network. A Portuguese alliance dedicated to sharing experiences, promoting one another through industry committees, collaborating in business, mentoring and inspiring each other towards achievement and development. And best of all is participating in our Be Bold, Be Her podcast. Yes, a podcast about being Portuguese and bold, where members will tell their stories and hear empowering stories of others. I took the first step and shared my story with you. Now it is up to you to take your step. I am beyond thrilled and actually quite emotional to be embarking on this journey with Angela, Carolina, and you. Ladies and gentlemen, with this, I present the Portuguese American Women's Empowerment Alliance. Thank you.
Are we playing the video now?
We are playing the video.
Okay, great. This is real time.
Launch the video.
Watch the video.
Little girls with dreams become women with vision. When women support each other, incredible things happen. Women belong in all places where decisions are made. We must encourage women and girls to believe in themselves.
As a student at Knoxville, I'll be positive and kind, be respectful to others, be responsible and ready to work, be a hard worker, and know that everyone counts. I will not hide my tiger pride.
Who are we as Portuguese American women? We take the stage and command respect. We portray our identity through art. We march for our rights. We lead change by example. We break through male-dominated professions. We believe in ourselves and influence others around us. We must bridge the gap between women designing their purpose and women living their purpose. We take the stage and command respect. The Portuguese American Women's Empowerment Alliance.
Well, ladies, how was that video? Congratulations, Janet. Janet was the mastermind behind this. and we are thrilled, and we're all emotional here too. And not to mention, we all want to go back to Portugal, at least for a little bit, some sardinhas, vinho, you know, we all want a little the comfort food we so miss here. So everybody's told a little bit about their story. I'll tell you a little bit about mine. I grew up in between Portugal and Newark, New Jersey, if you talk about a contrast, in the 50s and 60s. And it's good to know that I started grammar school in New Jersey, not speaking a word of English. I spoke Portuguese first because it was mandatory in the house. If we wanted to do anything, we learned Portuguese, right? So that has been, I think, and I say this for the three of us, we straddle two cultures, we straddle two worlds. And I think that has made us great businesswomen, but it's also made us great listeners and great healers. I remember many times always asking why, okay? I would be told something and told I have to do that. And I'm like, why? And there was never an answer to the why, all right? So I created my own answers to why. And I've always been inquisitive. And I think that is where I still am today. And that if I can say anything now before I pass it on to someone else, is that always ask why. And when you get the reply, and they say no, ask why not. Because why not is where everybody gets stuck on an answer. Because if you can defend the why, then you can also defend the why not and turn it around and be positive about it. But talking about positivity, sitting next to me is someone who strolled into my life about 7 years ago, totally did not know each other from anywhere. Everybody thought she was my daughter. Okay, and it's like, no, but she came to Miami and she'll tell you her story. But I really embraced this girl because her passion, and she asked why, and we gave her answers, and she gave us ideas, okay? And I used her consulting group out of Switzerland to really even grow my business in different creative areas. And today I am so thrilled and happy to have her back in Miami. And actually sitting right next to me here today. We have no masks, but we're COVID-free, ladies. Okay, let's just put it out there. And with no further ado, because she comes with amazing knowledge. She's not that old, but she's got great vision, and I think that's what we need, right? And so, with no further delay, this is Jessica Leiter. Okay.
Thank you, Carolina.
Thank you.
Oh my goodness, not that old. It's the Portuguese skin, ladies. It's the Portuguese skin. Thank you so much for having me here. It's such a pleasure and an honor to be your keynote speaker today. And as Carolina mentioned, I've been a little bit everywhere, and I'll tell you a little bit about my story. But first of all, I really want to thank you for tuning in, being here. Please put in the comments, where are you calling in from? I know that we have Angela that I really want to thank on the backstage area, who's feeding us all the comments, and Carolina will be looking at we have a bunch of technology around us to make sure that you're best supported. So please put in the comments, where are you calling in from? What's your intention for this call? Are you looking for some support for yourselves, for your business, for the other women that you're supporting? And I would love to hear from you and make this more interactive, and we'll play with that. I also want to thank you, Janet. What a beautiful, beautiful video that you put together for us. And it gave me goosebumps. I mean, you saw us maybe chit-chatting while the video was going, but I kept going like, oh my goodness, that's so cool. And that's so true. And it really embraces the heart of my story. So we're all talking about stories, and it's like my background and the success and the challenges, and there have been such incredible women in my life. So thank you so much for having me here, and I'm looking forward to having an amazing time together. It's not going to be a boring one, right? And I've already had 2 coffees. All right, let's get started. So before I start talking about my own story, I'd like to tell you a story. And it's the story of growing good corn. And you're like, what does that have to do with it, right?
Well, it has a lot to do with it, because agriculture, to me, and has always been, if you lay the land properly and seed it properly, it's going to grow. But if you bring people in to help you grow that, you grow more and you grow a bountiful that you can sell together. So you start forming your network and your community, and that just continues on into fields and fields, right?
Yes, 100%. Ah, we're connected. So I'll tell you the story real quick because it kind of illustrates the message I'll be talking throughout my whole presentation. And it's the story of a farmer who grew award-winning corn. And so each year he entered his corn at the state fair where he won the blue ribbon, right? Apparently that's like the big deal. And one year a newspaper reporter went on to interview him, and he learned something super interesting about how he grew his corn. The reporter discovered that actually the farmer shared his seed corn with his neighbors. And the reporter goes, well, how can you afford to share your best seed corn with your neighbors when they're entering in corn competitions with you next year and the next year after that? And he goes, why, sir? The farmer said, didn't you know the winds pick up the pollen from the ripening corn from all the swirls from the fields and fields around them? And so if my neighbors grow inferior corn, there's cross-pollination, right? They interfere with his own corn, and they steadily will degrade the quality of my own corn. If I am to grow great corn, then I must help my neighbors grow good corn too. So he's very much aware of this connectedness of life, right? Where his own corn cannot improve unless his neighbor's corn also improve. So it's in all dimensions of our life, like you were saying, Caroline, like this whole story analogy can be related to all our lives, and even this video that Janet wonderfully put together. So those of us that are really at peace must help our neighbors to be at peace. Those of us who choose to live well must help others to live well too. For the value is measured by the lives that we touch. And those who really are happy must help others to also find happiness for the welfare of each other, to really just create a better environment. And when Carolina says, like, positive makes her think of me. Like some people might know me from some of my speaking engagements as Positive Jessica. And I even had a whole book and website and things like that around that. But it's true because I discovered this through experience. If you radiate positivity, passion, you will help your neighbors, of course, grow corn, but your corn will also be more quality. All right, so since we're going to spend a little bit of time together, oh my goodness, yes. Oh, Vermont, Boston, Toronto, Virginia, New York City, Hawaii, California, San Jose, Massachusetts, Lisbon, Porto. I love it. Oh my goodness, welcome. Do we have some more comments?
Yes, Nellie in California, she's looking to know more about our this group, and she's very connected and passionate about her own roots and heritage. So we'll be following up with you, Nellie. Just reach out.
Yes, and I'm sure in the comments and everything we can put in on like how you can get in touch, and I'm sure on PALCUS website as well.
Yeah, correct.
Amazing. So, all right, a little bit about my story. I won't take too long, but since we're going to spend a little bit of time together, might as well, right? Get to know who's this Portuguese crazy woman talking. So I'm actually born in Switzerland, Portuguese parents. And as Carolina mentioned, my career started right out of college. I jumped into Miami. I joined kind of the family business and went into consulting business. And I met Carolina. And Carolina then helped me really grow. And before that, I was working in the best hotels in the US and in Europe as well. And one day I found myself like supported by these incredible people that I wasn't even aware of, right? So often we have all these people around us that are incredibly loving, amazing resources, or just simply a shoulder to lean on while we're on our path to creation. And so I find myself at this seminar, and many years ago. Many years ago. We won't say how long. And I'm at this seminar, and this gentleman asked me, so Jessica, what are you passionate about? What do you want to create in your life, right? And I'm like, well, I know I can do anything in life. I just don't know what I want. He's like, you have to go and meet these incredible people, Janet and Chris Atwood. So these were my mentors for a little while. And I met them. I did this thing that helped me discover exactly what my true purpose is in life. So exactly what I want in order of priority. I mean, who wants that? Having total clarity on what it is that you want and what your path is. And so I discovered this, and I discovered that I wanted to do what I'm doing today. So first of all, thank you for allowing me to do that. But I discovered that I wanted to be on stage. I wanted to help women support women. And I discovered this, and at the time, my dad was an international speaker, trainer, world-renowned author and publisher. And so I go home and I'm like, Dad, I want to do this. He goes, that's great. At some point, somebody's going to take over the business, right? I was like, yeah, I got time. And 2 days later, he passed away. You remember?
Thanksgiving.
Yep, Thanksgiving. And Carolina, again, was there to support Mom and I and my little brother. And we had Thanksgiving at Carolina's house. It was kind of a somber one, but she was there, and incredible support. Thank you so much again for that.
No problem.
And I had the clarity. I had the clarity of the life I wanted to create. And this is what I want to share with you, because I know that if you're listening to this video, this recording, if you're on Facebook or on the Zoom call, it's because you're a leader of some sort. You don't want to just live life and let life live you, really. You want to live life fully. You want to enhance, elevate, and empower yourselves and those around you. You want to empower, elevate, and enhance the life of those that you touch, your clients, your customers, but also your teams, right? And so this is why I'm here, and the rest of my presentation will really be about how can you do that? Because I've spent the last decade, it's been a little bit more than a decade, but oh well, we'll say a decade. The past decade, traveling the world, teaching this content. I have now over 60 coaches teaching what I teach, with content featured on Oprah Magazine, Success Magazine. And I don't have an enormous amount of time today to share absolutely everything. And I can spend 4 days with you nonstop, and I would still have things to say. But I did bring the things that are the things that if you apply, that are simple, yet very effective, they will create change in your life. And therefore, you can not only impact your own life and those of others. So if you're watching this for your personal life or for business or for your teams, tune in and we'll get started. Anything before we start?
No, just to let you know that we have New Jersey's been added to this, Portugal again, Washington, D.C., and California. You guys are coming in full steam here. We got almost, I think, every county represented in California. So good job there, Angela. And from Rhonda in Danvers, Massachusetts, I am of Portuguese descent, founder of Women's Entrepreneurs Network North Shore. Would love to connect and help other Portuguese women. We'll be reaching out to you, or you reach out to us first, and then we'll call, okay? And we'll make this work.
We'll connect, that's for sure.
Be careful what you wish for, because we will make this happen, all right?
Amazing. Thank you, Carolina.
Thank you.
And please don't hesitate, interrupt me at any point. And if there's anything that I'm saying that doesn't make sense, you have any questions, please put it in the comments, and also please interrupt me.
I will.
Amazing. Let's get started. All right. So before I get started, I want to ask you, and I want you to put in the comments. I really do. And I can see, if you're on Zoom here, I can actually see your comments as well. So thanks so much, John. And there are some questions coming in that will be sent over to Carolina. Jennifer Mendes, Mary Pereira, incredible. Laura, oh, I'm so excited. Okay, so one of the things that I want to ask you, and please put it on here, is what is passion? Like, what is it? Why is it that it's important? I'm going to ask you, Carolina, why do you think that passion is important to have in our life?
Without passion, you're not fueled, okay? You have to have fuel, all right? And some people have food, others, have other things, but I have to feel down in my gut, in my soul, that this is what I want to do. And it goes back to the why and the why not, because I used to get in trouble for having those feelings and not being able to really express them, because it was not my role as many times we were told in the business world and even in school and things like that, but it is our role, okay? And it's people like Jessica and this whole generation, my daughter's generation, my granddaughters who are all in college now. It is their, this is their opportunity, and we were just laying that field and the seeds, and now it's for you guys to take off with it.
Incredible. And thank you so much for your participation. Marta Silva, who says, passion is what drives our life forward. So well said. Then we also have passion is what drives our life forward. Passion is what Maria Santos, passion is healing from Lisboa, education and expanding consciousness. Yes. This is so exciting. Graciela Camilo, your passion is lighting my passion and soul. It's so exciting. It's so true, right? I mean, intellectually, we can tell ourselves in the morning and go, oh, I need to be passionate about my life today. And wouldn't that be awesome if we did that? It's like intellectually thought ourselves into being passionate. Unfortunately, that's not how it works. Well, fortunately, too. It's about listening to your heart's desire. What actually lights your fire? What actually makes you want to get up in the morning? What actually makes you full of joy, to want to share, want to smile? Because that is your life's purpose. There is no way. We are so well done. I mean, we breathe on our own. Our heart beats on our own. We we do so much stuff without even being consciously thinking about it. Why would we have dreams, aspirations, and passions as women if we're not supposed to live them? That's not how it works. If you have them, if you feel them, it is because you are meant to live it. So do not put any limiting beliefs, any stories that say that, no, I should be a certain way. Oh my goodness, that's a big one. I should be this and I should that. We should all over ourselves. I said should, huh? Oh my goodness. And it's so true. And thank you so much. We have John Bintu, who's asking a question. One of his, I didn't read the whole thing, but one of the things that came up is that one of his girlfriends had struggled. She was so beautiful, and she struggled to be taken seriously. And she had to empower herself to overcome society that freely complimented her on her looks, but rarely on her achievement. This is a worthwhile effort. It's such an interesting topic, and it's so true. I can understand that too. And it also, I think, starts first, us as women, to listen at what lights our fire. And it is, and if we get compliments, and it's great, I get compliments. I love it, thank you. You're so pretty, thank you. Thank you. And it's true. And it doesn't change the fact that I have studies and I have my own business and I've done so much and helped other people create an incredible business. It doesn't take away from that. It adds on. If we can be in our true feminine essence and radiate and really just go for our dreams with our strength. I love the video of the little girl where we had the presentation in the video where she said something about her tigress, or I forget what the term was, but it was so authentic. If we dare to just be audaciously authentic, we are so powerful, incredibly powerful. You will have no idea. There's no way, there's no need to pretend or be something we're not. Anyways, I diverge. So we're talking about passion and why is it so important? And we're talking about our own lives. But if you think about it as well, is in business, right? I know this is the leadership conference, and we are all leaders here, especially in today's world. We need to lead and to show by example and to influence each other. And like Janet was saying at the beginning, where she helps women who come from one country to another and empowering, it's such a beautiful project, and this is something we need to do on an ongoing basis to support each other. And so passion drives engagement. If you think of it from a business perspective, right, if we're going to go with our business mindset, we really want to be driving engagement. We want our employees, we want our customers, we want the people that follow us, we want our constituents, if you're in a different model, to believe, to be aligned with a mission, a vision, right? So I'm going to give you the formula. Before I do that, I have some notes here as well. I don't want to miss anything, right? Oh, there's one thing I'm missing. Apparently 80%, 80, that's a lot of people, wake up not passionate about their lives, not motivated They put, like when you snooze, I do that sometimes, snooze on my alarm, but not most of the time. Every single weekday we snooze. We go to work. There's this comedian that did a TED Talk. It was really interesting and funny, but it's funny, but then it gets you thinking. And she does it much better than I do. And she goes, we spend our lives waiting. We spend our lives waiting. In the morning we get up, we go to work, and we think, what am I going to eat at lunch today? Where should I go for lunch? We go for lunch, and then we think of, what am I going to have for dinner? When's our next break? And then at dinner, I'm thinking about, what am I going to do for the weekend? What movie should I watch? And then on the weekend, I'm going, what should I do on vacation or staycation in this new world? What should I do on vacation? And we spend more time waiting to live our lives than actually living our lives. But I know that's not you. Otherwise, you wouldn't be on this call. The difference is you can influence those who are in that state. You can influence and empower other women, other people, being in a different state and actually live their lives fully and become incredible parts of your team.
We have some comments here.
We have some comments. Tell me. Go ahead before I start.
Mary Pereira, passion is that feeling in your heart and soul that makes you joyful. Nellie Brown, passion is what guides me in everything I choose to do.
Yes.
And it energizes me to continue to the work I do.
I want to just before Nellie Brown, amazing. I love that you said that. And we'll touch back on that when we're talking living a passionate life at any moment in your life, whenever you're faced, like if the circumstances, whatever the circumstances, you can still tap into your passion. So thank you so much for
Linda,
that.
passion is feeling so strongly about something that when you actually do it, you feel completely satisfied and can't believe you get paid for it. I'm all about that, okay? I truly am. And Lenore Brazan, passion is oxygen of the soul. And Monica Fernandez, we are more powerful than we ever give ourselves credit for. We cannot be ashamed of our power. Amen to that one, okay? And Jessica is a voucher on witnessing me many times around. I have been in meetings where I was the only woman, okay? I have been in a meeting where somebody walked in late and asked me to get them their coffee because they didn't realize I was the CEO of the company that was there for the meeting. But I got up and got the coffee, and then I could gauge the man's face when I got up to give the presentation as the CEO. So what you do is you handle this gracefully and you move forward. And the man came to apologize to me after because he made the assumption that I was the only woman in that room, that I was there to be helping serving coffee or, doing whatever. And I think that is where we all had been at one time or another in our lives. But things have changed. And I think this new normal we're in right now has opened the eyes to a lot of issues. And it's time that we jump on this now too. So Jessica, I have been talking too much. It's your show. Go ahead.
I'm also reading while you're reading these comments, and I'm so glad, and thank you so much for participating and putting it in the chat. Please continue. Yeah. This is so great because talking to a camera is not that I'm used to stages. Right. I make people stand up and jump up. I'm one of those, right? I'm one of those rah ones. But it is, you gotta live, you gotta get up, you gotta have some and if you're feeling like you're like this in your chair and you're like, I'm like, no, stand up straight. Come on. You're a leader. You're a leader. You want to make an incredible impression, not only in your life, but in those and others. So we'll talk about physiology. We'll talk about all of that. So let me try and do this sharing thingy-majig on my iPad. So one of the things also while I do this is that one of the comments was that it's incredible how, raised sometimes some of us as women, our fathers wanted us to be men, right? I was very lucky. That makes you laugh. and that it was very hard for us. And sometimes, yes, that does affect us psychologically. It really does. But as adults, this is an incredible story. I'm just going to little aparté. It's when we are children, we're tiny, tiny little toddlers. Our parents inadvertently might tell us, don't go to the pool, you may drown, right? You can maybe drown. So the little child, it's valid when they're that tiny, that child, right? It makes sense. But as a grown adult, right? to not want to be 10 feet away from a pool or even go to the beach because they might drown is no longer serving them. Yes, it might be a trauma and you can work on that. And there's incredible professionals to work on that. And once you've acknowledged that, well, it's something that I was told as a child, okay, now let's move on and go forward, right? You understand that, and I'm not taking away of the pain or the hurt or the feelings that may come with, especially from a parent that wanted you to be different. And at the end of at the end of the day, I think we're all doing our best.
Yes.
We really are. And I'm not sure of the circumstances, but with the clients I've worked with a lot of coaching clients, professionals, stay-at-home moms, and key executives, worldwide executives of Fortune companies. And no matter what it is so important now as an adult to look at what is it that you are standing for? What do you stand for? What is your truth? What is your value? And go with that, with grace, with love, with passion, with hunger, with drive, whatever it is you stand for, just connect to that. Connect to that and feed yourself with that, and notice around you how you have other women, other men, other people in your life that see that in you. And you can really embody that so that you can influence those who may not have that around them, and really impact them as a leader to show and so that other people, other women, younger women can model that after you, especially if you've gone through that. All right, let's start sharing. Microphone off. Yes. Start broadcast. 3, 2, 1. Yes. Yeah. Awesome. All right.
It's great when technology works.
Oh my goodness, it is. And
But I just want to put in a couple of comments that have come in. One of them, in my childhood, my father treated me differently than my brothers, merely due to being a girl. I'm so passionate about fairness and equality for all. Dr. Gomes from Boston just opened her new practice, and I know that we at PALCUS will be welcome you, and we'd love to work with you as well. Christina Santos, I would imagine all of us attended. I have a strong passion for Portuguese culture, linguiça, music, comidas, tradições, convívio e família. And Carla, this is certainly difficult times, a pandemic. Yes, we are assumed to be the note takers at times. We are assumed to be, but we have to change that assumption sometimes, ladies, because just being assuming is not a good thing sometimes. All right, so let's move on another track, because I am sure that if we were in a room of only women and a gentleman was sitting there, that no woman would have asked the gentleman to pick up a cup of coffee for them. Okay. That's just my little take from my age group, okay? This is what this, there's a distinct age group in this formation of Angela, myself, and Janet, and my good friend here, Jessica. So I've been through the trenches a little bit longer than all of them, and I can say that we have come a long way, baby. We have. Okay.
And it's true. I mean, I remember when we went to a conference together in Portugal.
Oh God!
And it was a lot of men, and I look young. Okay, yeah. I looked, and this was about 10 years ago. Because you say we met 8 years ago. It's already been 10 years. 10 years.
8 years ago is when your dad passed away. Okay.
Yes.
Right. Okay.
Oh goodness. And about 10 years ago, and so I looked a lot younger. And I show up, and I remember this gentleman, and he was leading this, and I was going to sit with Carolina because we were talking business, and I was business development, and he told me to go, no, vai sentar com o secretário, like with and I gently, I smiled. I was like, no, I'm okay, I'll sit here.
Exactly.
He was really shocked. He's like, oh, okay. And again, it's very easy and simple to make this distinction of the sexes, right? Mm-hmm. And how often, ladies, all right, I should stop sharing this thing, but have we judged each other?
There you go.
How often have we judged each other, and how often have we judged ourselves? We are our worst critics. We are our worst critics. Oh my goodness. It is insane, the little voice inside our heads that keeps criticizing us. If we look a certain way, my dress is like this is like that. Ai, olha para aquela. look at that one over there walking and doing this. Come on, admit it, even if you don't like it. We have done it. We have, and it's okay. It's fine. But it's just looking at, okay, we got judged, but before asking others to stop judging us, how about we do some work on ourselves too? You will notice, I've done this, and I've seen it happen. I can guarantee that your environment will start changing. Your judgments of people using judgments with you will start diminishing because your judgments are changing too. All right, good to go? Alrighty, okay, so here is an incredible, simple formula to creating anything you want in life. Who wants that? A simple formula to creating anything in life. Now, I didn't say it was easy to apply, but I did say it's simple. Alrighty, so first thing, intention. I love this. I don't have to get up and be on a board. You guys, I love technology, guys. Intention. Clearly stating your intention. Remember at the beginning of this call, I asked you, like, what's your intention for this call? Like, are you here to learn for yourselves? Are you here to learn for others or to teach others? Are you here representing your business? What is your intention at any point in your life? If you get clear on what you want would show up, but only to the extent of which you were clear. I'll repeat. When you're clear in your life of what you want in your life, what you want will show up, but only to the extent of which you are clear. So often in business, I work with executives and leaders, CEOs, founders, and they had this mission, this vision for their companies. And they were so passionate about it. And a year down the line, 5 months down the line, 5 years down the line, they get tired, they get confused, they forget, they lose their direction. People start coming in when they're feeling doubtful, giving a bunch of ideas, and there goes a few $1,000s down the drain or a few €1,000 down the drain. And then here goes, you know, the stress of issues and challenges. Like, that's not even the business I wanted to create. What is it that you want to create for your life? What is your intention for your business? What is your vision? What is your mission? This is such key to creating anything in your life. A lot of people focus on the how. How am I going to do this? How am I going to create this? How am I going to? But first, it's like, okay, but what's the this? Like, why do you want it? What is it that's really driving it? What is your intention? And same for creating engagement, right? We're talking about creating a passionate life, but we're also trying to create an engaged business, creating raving fans, people that will follow, that will share your mission. I mean, if we think of certain brands, right? What are brands that people talk? I mean, I don't want to stereotype, but if you look at right now, there's a lot of apples and logo apples. I'll let you deduce what that means all over me. I got one here, one here, one here, one there, one here, one there. There's about 7 apples around. Why? Because of the brand. People become raving fans. People become like, oh, did you hear? They're doing a keynote. They're launching something new. Don't you want that? Don't you want that about your own business or your life? Oh my goodness, Jessica's having a live, there's people watching here that have never heard of PALCUS. Why? Because I posted on my social media, hey, I'm doing a presentation on PALCUS, and they're like, oh yay, I want to be on too, right? So this is what you create when you have an incredibly clear vision and mission. And we work on that through some consulting stuff that we do, and Carolina works on that as well. So, but you can already define, what is your intention? Start by making a list. Yes, I'm going to give you homework, but it's fun work, okay? So make a list. If you're looking at your personal life, do a list of 10, 12 things. And trust me, it might sound so silly and so simple, yet it is so freaking powerful. Am I allowed to say freaking? Yeah, okay. So powerful. Write a list and complete this sentence, right? When my life is ideal, and the reason I'm writing it down is because I'm hoping that you're taking a notepad and doing this as well. When my life is ideal, I am. And you're right. You just write 1, 2, 3, 4 until you have 10 to 12 things, okay? When my life is ideal, I am. And then if you want to be working on your business, is when my business is ideal, we are, right? What are you creating? What are you doing? What do you stand for? Where are you? What kind of environment do you want to create? What are your values? What are you doing? All right, so first one is intention. Number 2, any questions around that? Not yet? We're good?
No, I go continue this and then we'll go down. We have quite a few. They're not questions, they're statements, which I think are awesome.
Amazing!
Yeah.
Oh, my handwriting, I'm looking at it there. That says attention, by the way. Attention, number 2, attention. Notice I didn't say a plan. I didn't say action. But it is. Action engages attention. Plans engages attention, right? So give whatever it is you want to create. Sounds really simple, right? But so often we get this in the wrong order, or we do it the wrong way, or we even forget to do it. So attention, give what it is that you want to create in your life attention. Talk about it. Talk about it in what way? In a positive way, in a happy way, right? Like I talk about, I do a lot of work around relationships and couples and things like that. And some people, they're giving attention to their relationship, but the kind of attention is, there's no good single men out there. They're all taken. That guy doesn't know how to dress. Aquele não sabe falar. Da, 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 da. So all this negative. So when I go to a party, I know exactly who not to introduce you to. Right? But if you start talking in a positive way, same thing about your business. What is it? If you're talking about challenges that you want to overcome, talk about the results you want to create. Don't go to your team and say, this sucks. This is not good, right? Say, this is what I want to create, and really with a compelling vision and with a compelling energy. You really want to go there. So action engages attention. I love the saying, you strike lightning wherever you go. Anything you can possibly think of, you give your intentions attentions. And in a business setting, consulting way, the first part, the intention, I usually work with a group of executives, right? Where we really clarify the mission and the vision and creating compelling statements. And things like, we're audaciously authentic. We create magic. Right now, I'm working with an incredible digital strategy agency called Magic on Tap. And Magic on Tap is exactly that. They create magic. And they say digging treasure is easy when you know where to find it, right? So it's all about creating magical experience for their customers. Yes, they're a digital strategy agency, but it's all about creating magic, and that's what they stand for. What is it that you stand for? And that guiding principle, even I, on a consulting basis, I know what I'm doing. I'm creating magic. Everything is around magic. We're magicians. And so it's so powerful to understand what is your intention and how are you going to give it attention. Number 3, no tension. No tension. That is do you write tension with a T or an S?
Tension is with the T.
Can you tell I'm doing this with no tension? Who said presentations have to have tension? Tension?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. No tension, guys. No tension. So how is it you're acting from a space of no tension, or sometimes you get very what happened? Very crystal clear on what your mission is. You give it attention and you let go. How often have you had to write a really, really, really important email or a really important something, and you're like struggling, and then your wife calls or your husband calls, or you have to go take a shower, pick up the kids, walk the dog, whatever it is, and you get the idea. So me, it's the shower. I'm like, I know exactly what to do. I keep pens right on my, everywhere. I have notes everywhere. And so thank God my phone is kind of waterproof a little. And I'm like, I got the idea. And it's so true. When you let go, things start showing up. So trust that things are going to show up. In a business perspective, I said intention, you set that with the executive board or the higher level or the CEO, depending on how large your company is. Then you give it attention by doing a workshop with your staff, getting them motivated, getting them excited, getting them to really sync up and see what are their missions. Sorry, it's okay. What is their mission? What do they want in terms of their work life? And then what is it that the company stands out for? And then the no tension part, when you create an action plan together into creating an action plan towards creating that intention. Anywho, I have been talking for a long, long time, and I'm sure there's a lot of comments. And if you have any questions on how to apply this, or have you, actually, I would love to hear, when have you used this method? Intention, attention, no tension. I'd like to hear from you. Have you ever unconsciously used this? For example, my first internship. I remember my first internship where I had the intention to get to work at this leading hotel of the world in London. And it's only normally for second-year students. But I saw the presentation, loved it, and I wanted to work in their events department. And so I speak to the general manager and I say, can I have an interview? He's like, no, this is for second-year students. I'm like, listen, I actually, you know what? I'll just interview. If you don't like me, that's fine. At least I tried, right? So I go and I set my intention. I give the interview. I play full out. I do absolutely everything I can possibly think of. And I let go. You know what happened? I didn't get a call back. Everybody who had applied there got an answer. I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm not gonna have an internship. And last minute, when I totally let go, they called me, I landed the internship. I was better than even the second-year students.
So Jessica, we have questions in that have raised their hand, and so we're gonna open the mic so you can have an interaction with them.
I absolutely love that.
Go ahead,
Let's
Angela.
do it. Some live interventions. I'm excited.
What makes this number unique?
Okay, Marta Silva, go ahead. Yeah. Go ahead, Marta, unmute your line.
Can't hear her.
Ask to unmute. I just asked. Oh, Maria. Marta? Marta, can you hear us? If you're at the bottom of your screen on the left, you should have an unmute button.
Oh, she says she doesn't have a question. Sorry. Let's move on to the next one. Maria Santos, you unmute your line.
Hi. Hello, how are you?
Amazing. Thank you for being here. How are you?
I'm fantastic. Thank you for meeting you, Jessica, and your work. It's really handsome. And I just want to recognize that I already knew your message. It's just really passionate. I am already aligned with what you are saying and go in the flow with you. Congratulations. You are doing really well. And I just want to greet you because it was really fantastic. And for me, the most powerful is the act of letting go. So the surrender part, it's normally where I get stuck because the surrender is the ultimate goal of the universe.
So true. It's so true. Oh my goodness. Can you tell us a little bit, like, how have you found it that you learned to surrender? Has there been things that you
Sorry, I couldn't hear you properly. Can you repeat?
Can you hear me now?
Yes, perfectly.
I was asking, when you found that you've grown into surrendering and the art of letting go, what has worked for you at times where it's been challenging and now that you're better at it? What has been something that's worked for you?
Well, what is work is just like get out of my own head and go to my own heart, because sometimes my head is where my left brain interferes and it's just like la 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 la. And sometimes it's just like walking or praying or dancing a little bit and really believe that everything is possible. So I really acknowledge what you are saying, and thank you for letting us know even more deeply your experience, because I really would like to be aligned with that. And I was so proud of you when you told us that you already have 650 coaches working with you. Thank you. So beautiful.
Thank you. Yes, and I need you and all these incredible women in this call to just share and radiate this, because we need to reverse those statistics upside down. So thank you so much for being aligned with this mission, for being here and being part of this alliance of women supporting women. I really appreciate
Yes.
you.
Yes, as a healer and as a writer and also as a speaker, I would love to partner with you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And with this beautiful alliance and with the Portuguese, no matter where they are, because together we can rise consciousness and elevate the quality of our own planet. So thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, we have another raised hand from, the name is Graciela Camillo, but there's a lot of those because we used Graci's link in one of our confirmation emails, so everybody's using it, and so we have like 5 Gracis. But I asked to unmute, so if you got asked to unmute your line, please unmute and ask your question. If not, we can move on to another question from Victoria Morais. So if you have a question, pop it into the Q&A and tell me what your name is, and then I'll unmute. So let's go to Victoria. All right, Victoria, all you have to do is unmute your line and you can ask your question.
Good morning, ladies. Can you hear me?
Yes, good morning.
Yes, nice to meet you. So yes, one of my questions was, I'm, obviously a very positive, energetic person, but in today's world, unfortunately, I am one of those people, and I know there's others out there that have been furloughed, laid off from their positions where they held such a high position. So in myself, I've applied and looked for jobs that on paper I'm not qualified for, but I know I can do the jobs probably for months. And of course, just getting those answers back is always kind of negative. What advice do you have to all of us out there that probably are in that kind of world where we're getting discouraged just from what's happening, and we know we can do certain things, but the corporate world is telling us no? Any advice for us just putting ourselves out there?
Amazing question. I so appreciate you saying that. So thank you so much. And again, I'm sorry that you're going through that. In a way, I'm really excited for you. I'm so excited for you because you're such a smart woman. And especially if you're in that kind of position, you have knowledge that a lot of people don't have. And it's such an incredible opportunity. Yes, and I totally get it. It's discouraging. Just to give you a little background, I used to live in New York City. Carolina mentioned that I just moved down to Miami. And COVID was kind of a hidden gift. So I was working, I do a lot of business consulting. And one of my biggest clients at one point, my dad always said, never put all your eggs in the same basket. And what did I do? I put all the eggs in the same basket. Sometimes you just have to learn by experience. And so, Victoria, what happened is during COVID, it had been about 4 or 6 months that I had been with this company and working as a consultant for all their clients. So I had over 280 accounts that I was doing consulting all over New York, mainly New York City, a little North New York state as well. And so I had a lot of work, incredible people that I was working with. But as soon as it shut down, it was in medical aesthetics. And as soon as it shut down, the industry completely shut down. So I found myself going, oh dear, oopsie, what should I do? And having to pivot. And a lot of us are going through this experience right now where we need to pivot. And it does get discouraging, right? So I had just moved to this amazing, beautiful apartment in Manhattan. I had just moved there in February. I had my housewarming party just pre-COVID. At least I had a party. It was great. You gotta look at the positives. And then it all changed. I ran away. I have a little doggy. So if we see us like touching here, right here, because I have
trying to keep him down.
Is he under the chair again? He's very cute. And so I didn't want to be in Manhattan while everything was happening. So I had to leave Manhattan. kind of realized, okay, where do I go? My mom, obviously, my mom who's watching here, cuckoo, bye. She's in Portugal, and she's like, come back to Portugal. What are you doing there? So I came back to Miami, and I have now, in just a few months, totally transformed my business and surrounded myself. I now work with several clients, and it's incredible the abundance that it has created and the opportunity. But yes, Victoria, there were moments that were really crappy. There were moments I did not wash my hair and wore my pajamas all day. Can you relate?
Yes. Oh my gosh. It's okay. This morning I had to encourage myself to, even though you can't see me, but I was like, I'm going to wash my face today. This is going to happen. So
I'd like to interject here that just based on whenever there's a downturn, okay, and I'm a firm believer in this because I started a lot of my businesses in downturn economies, and this is totally different what we're going through because of lockdown and everything else. But everyone has pivoted, okay? And we are now using, in my business, Connect to Global, I deal with my clients who I was traveling 70% of the year. I tell you guys, I have a 7-year-old Volkswagen Beetle that has 31,000 miles on it, but I'm a million miler on 2 airlines. So that's how much I travel to my clients. And now we're doing this via Zoom. Not that we still miss that human touch and that relationship, but out of every challenge comes opportunities. And Victoria, was that her name, Victoria?
Yes,
Victoria, look at what your strengths were in the business you were in, and how can you pull some of those out and create, maybe start your own business in this downtime and see how that goes. It could always be an ancillary business, even if you do, eventually go back to what you were doing, you always have something else to fall back on. All right. Mm-hmm. And I have always been, and Jessica can attest to this, I have always taken lemons and made the best lemonade that can be made in a very dire strait. Okay. And I think that is where we as women are actually have that we have that DNA, okay? We have that DNA of being able to take something and really make something out of it if we just leave the fear on the back burner and go forward with what our gut feeling is telling us we can do.
That's so true. And I will give you some tips right now on exactly what you can do in order to change your state. Right? So there's this thing called a triad. And I'm so glad that you brought this up because this is so valuable at any stage of our life, really, because there are moments that we will feel down, right? And I have this thing, it's called going from contraction to expansion. It's like the red light, green light, and how to do that. There's a 7-step process, and I give tools and et cetera, et cetera. But as I mentioned, I could spend days. So this is a good opportunity. If you want to text this number, 31996, 31996, and if we could put this in the comments, that'd be awesome. And you text PALCUS to that number, you will receive a text message. And after this recording, after this Zoom, I will be sending and putting together 3 video series with content that I feel is really adequate for what we've been talking about. So I'll go even deeper and I'll share that. This process, it's called sad to glad. How to go from a sad state to a glad state. So I really want to make sure that I can share as much value as possible. So if you text that number, I will then share those videos with you and then we can stay in touch. So there's this thing called the triad to manage your state, right? Your emotional state, not changing from New York City to Miami. That helps though. It helps. So when you are feeling like you don't want to get up, you don't want to wash your hair, you don't want to, you're eating, oh my goodness, I was eating Nutella out of the pot, like literally. It happens. Hey, we all go through it. Anywho, it's called the triad. This has helped me so much. Again, very powerful, very simple. There are 3 things you can do to manage your state. Your physiology. Your physiology. How do you stand? There's this study that shows if you put a pencil, I guess, in your mouth, it forces your body to think that you're smiling, right? And so your brain interprets it as like, oh, she's happy. right? I did that. When my dad passed, it was the hardest thing I've ever had to do in my whole life. We all go through challenges. We all go through troubling times. That, I think, was the hardest thing I've ever had to go through. And not only because he was my best friend, and financially we had stepbrothers involved, and from one day to another, we like lost absolutely everything. And I was like, okay, how are we putting my brother through college, and what am I doing? Going through a very abundant life, very, I wouldn't say spoiled, but yeah. Not spoiled rotten.
Not spoiled rotten, though.
But spoiled. And to, oh gosh, what am I doing? And having to step up. So it was really hard dealing with lawyers, dealing with fear, dealing with my, a lot of things. And so I did that. I literally walked around like this every morning. I don't know if that made sense, but every morning. It sounds silly, but it is. Your physiology, what are you doing? There's like this one of my mentors, I've done a lot of work with him, is Tony Robbins. We publish his work in the French market, and I've done absolutely every single thing you can possibly think of, all his seminars. There's this little thing he talks about, and it's the 2 millimeter shift. If I'm right here and you put your hand right here, you think there's like a string pulling, what's this bone called? I forget. Anyways, you know what.
We're not doctors.
We're not doctors. You gotta have fun with life, right? Oh my goodness, all my emails are popping up. And so you pull us, there's two, like, do you see the difference? Like, as soon as I go down, like my energy changes. So practice, walk around like this, right? How do you walk when you're confident? How do you walk when you're super excited? How do you walk when you're passionate? You look at your physiology. Maybe go work out, go for a run. I know when I get angry, I hardly get angry, but I go there sometimes, like angry, like, loca. I go for a run. So if I say, I really need to run, and it makes no sense why I'm going for a run, and like in the middle of the day, I'm angry. And I put really loud music and I go for a run. So change your physiology. Then there's your language. There's no particular order on this, by the way. Your language. What kind of language are you using when you're talking about the situation? Are you saying, I'm excited about this presentation? I'm excited about the opportunities that will emerge from this? Or are you saying, I'm nervous? Apparently, biochemically, I did not know this, but apparently biochemically, our body has exactly the same response to excitement and nervousness. I think that's the correct terms. But like when you say I'm nervous or I'm excited, your body feels the same thing, right? The little like stomach knot and all that stuff. It's the same thing biochemically. So if you tell your brain, I'm excited, you will definitely change your state. So what language are you using for yourself internally, and what language are you using with others? And then the third and not least is focus. What are you focusing on? Are you focusing on how things are terrible, or are you focusing on the opportunities that are being created? I have no idea how much time I have left.
Okay, so we're probably going to start wrapping up a little bit. I mean, we still have like 20 minutes.
Okay.
But I do want to make out some of the comments that have been coming through, and we need to thank some people, which I was a little remiss.
And before we do, I just want to make sure, Victoria, you're still unmuting. Did I answer your question? Do you have anything following up, or
No, you did, yes.
Incredible. So yes, physiology, focus, and language, you change your state. I'll do a little more on this and from sad to glad on the videos. So please make sure to text 31996 and just text PALCUS, and you will receive those videos.
Thank you.
We have quite a few. I like some of the comments, some of Maria Medeiros, judging other women just because they don't match our expectations. That's a big one, okay? I also have from John Bento, and I'm sorry I didn't thank you. John is the liaison on the board of directors for this alliance. So,
oh my goodness.
And so John wanted to thank you, Jessica, for admitting that his girlfriend had overcome women who didn't take seriously because of her appearance, her looks, right? Because she was also very beautiful, not just the men. As the PALCUS board liaison to this group, you have my support in this endeavor, and we are going to go for it, John. So be careful. You have a whole group here. From Annabella de Cruz Melo from Elizabeth, New Jersey, a PALCUS director. And she says, I am proud to be a Portuguese American woman. Your message is powerful and clear, and kudos to all of you. This is also remarkable. We have participants that have, hold on, that's a message to me about the participants. And Isabel, I often ask myself, what legacy will I leave my children and the community? What would you suggest to map out a vision to accomplish that? And let me see what else. And
we have some questions here too while you look for some more. How do I let go of fear in business after the attention phase? So fear, that's a great one. And those will be addressed on the videos. I'll be doing that. And I'm not sure if it is an international number. That's one of the questions, if this number is. But if you want, I will very happy to do a call with you. Free, no strings attached, intro with jessica.com, and you can schedule a call with me. So if that number doesn't work, we'll figure out a way that I can send you the link.
Okay, so hold on, this is one more, which this one I think is Christina Santos. It's just a statement that she's making that regarding the question of how to start over, let's remember our families who started over when they moved to the US. My mother-in-law came here from a nice, comfortable home in the Azores with her 7 children. She had to start over, living in a small home on a dairy with few possessions. She told the stories of how in those days, many precious babies did not survive childbirth, and many mothers were lost as well. Her courage is my inspiration in these hard times. So I think that's one thing we do. Immigration is innovation. I've always said that, and Jessica's heard that the 10 years plus she knows me. I think that all our, my parents came here not speaking English, working factory work. They created a great life for my brother and I. And I think that innovation, immigration is such an important soul of any nation. Okay, of any country, and that we welcome people, even, foreigners going into Portugal and Portuguese coming into the US. We need to embrace that. It's an honor to be an immigrant and a descendant of immigrants as well.
Yes, I see it with my mom who went immigrated to Switzerland, similar, and then my grandma and everything. We're just so strong. We have it in our blood.
Yeah,
we're so strong, so loving, and so incredible, and here supporting each other. I love the comment about the judgment as well. It's so true, and it just starts with you. It just starts with you and showing the example. I remember being at a table in Manhattan, and this very nice waiter. We were all a table of women, and I don't know what happened. He kept asking us if we're okay, if we need anything and all that. And somehow one of the women turned it around as saying, if we were all men, he wouldn't be asking us if we're okay. It's quite true. And it became a whole this discussion on how, like, sexism and stuff like that. And I turned around, I'm like, it was hard because as women, we have the need to connect, a feminine energy, right? I don't want to be, whoever's more feminine energy, we have this need from studies. If you look at caveman, cavewoman, in our DNA, to connect and to belong. Otherwise we wouldn't survive, right? And so we have that need. So the instinct is to agree. The instinct is to say, oh yeah, he's a beep. Yeah. And I turned around and it was hard. Yeah. And I teach this stuff and it was hard. I literally went, well, actually, I don't know. I probably didn't come out like super nice, but I did say something along the lines of, well, actually, I like that he's attentive to us and he's asking us if we need anything. I feel supported. I feel like he cares. And he's actually giving us more attention because we're a group of amazing, beautiful women, and he wants to be around us. So I actually feel like he's giving it's very flattering. And then it totally, like, one of the ladies that had started it, she kept her opinion, but you could see she was a little, I don't know, she has history. Mm-hmm. And then all the other women, they were like, oh yeah, that's true. And then they started noticing how he was actually super nice, and he changed the bill, but it's so interesting how we can just change our perspective just a little bit, and we can support other women change that perspective too, because it is so easy to judge. And we can look at something, call it blue. We can look at something, call it green. Remember that dress? There was a dress that went all over the internet. Is it a black dress or a blue dress? I think I would see black and blue and gold, but some people would see green or blue. I don't know. But it's so true. And in life, just have a more positive perspective, because trust me, it will bring you more passion and more joy.
So John Bento wanted to share, he had to leave the call, but he wanted to share something for us, which is, it's an anecdote regarding the Hearst Castle, a famous building built on the California coast by the newspaper publisher. He wanted to hire an architect who would challenge him, but because of his immense wealth and notoriety, all of the male architects were differential. So he was forced to flout societal norms and hire a female architect, Julia Morgan, who did a fabulous job. The moral is, if you want to hire the best man for a job, you hire a woman, okay? And that's coming from our liaison to the board. So John, we're going to work really well with him, okay? So it's very positive, okay? And I have another one that just came in from Anna Isabel. One of my favorite quotes: "It took me quite a long time to develop a voice, and now that I have it, I am not going to be silent." And that was by Madeleine Albright, which I fall back on that one a lot too, which I think is awesome.
Yes, it's so beautiful. And thank you so much for all your comments and your interaction. And we have more and more people attending. It's just so amazing. And for you, those of you that I don't see that are on Facebook and who are sharing this all over on different Facebook groups, thank you so much for tuning in. And thank you for watching the recording. And thank you for joining this alliance. And I'm sure we'll put in the comments how it is you can be part of PALCUS and this Women's Alliance of Women Supporting Women. Again, I really appreciate you. And thank you so much for having me on here.
Yeah,
I it's like, if there's anything that you want me to touch on, there's things like from the sad to glad. There's and I'll finish. I did promise at the beginning of the call I talk about the secret of living passionately at any point in any circumstance. So I will mention that before any closing. But we still have a few minutes, about 10 minutes.
You can go with that, and
Okay.
then we're gonna close out after Janet and I just say a few closing comments with the video again. So
yes, I love that video. Oh, I'm so happy we'll get to play it again. And for those who joined us a little later on, please stay until the end of the video, until the end of the conference, because it is such a treat. And it's only about 10 minutes left. So the secret. Are we ready?
The secret.
The secret. Let's do the drum roll. All right. It is so simple, yet so powerful. When you're faced with a choice, a decision, or an opportunity, choose in favor of your passions. What are your top 5 passions? Those are your intentions. What is it that matters most to you in order of priority? I have a process. Again, I can't share it with you in the next 10 minutes. It's a 3.5-hour workshop, but it is something that you can do with your employees and look at what is it that you stand for. Remember, I talked about Magic on Tap and how they stand about magic and creating magic, not using any acronyms, being audaciously authentic. There are some certain things that we just stand for in that company that they stand for. And if you look at a company like Zappos as well, it is, what is it that they stand for? So every time they're faced with a choice, an opportunity, or a decision, they choose in favor of that. So in the morning when you don't want to get up and you're thinking, should I get dressed or should I just stay in my pajamas? It sounds so simple, but if I choose in favor of my passion, if I look at my top 5, being of an impact around in the world is something that matters to me. Being healthy, vitality, full of health is something that is important to me in my top 5. So if I'm really choosing in favor of those, I will get up, get dressed, and you'll notice, and use that triad, you will notice that life will slowly start feeling so passionate at any time. Every time you're faced with a choice, an opportunity, a decision, choose in favor of your passions. And how often are we faced with a choice, an opportunity, a decision? Oh, the time.
24/7.
24/7. So please go back to that. You're not really responsible for how you're going to get there. You're responsible for what it is you want to create, giving it attention and not putting tension onto it. And you'll see things will start appearing, sometimes magically. So before I let you go, there is one prerequisite. I speak five languages.
Yeah.
Too many languages. Depois vamos falar em português.
Not everybody's Portuguese. On the phone.
Okay. So, one prerequisite is commitment. The commitment that you have and that you have as leaders to your team, to the people that you love, that the people you care about, to the clients and customers you have, to living a life aligned with your purpose, to leading a business aligned with your purpose, and really showing up in the world as the best version of yourselves, because only you can bring these gifts that you can bring. We're so unique, every single one of us. We don't just have fingerprints that are unique. We all have a purpose. We all have passions. And I honestly, truly believe in my heart of hearts that our passion is the breadcrumbs that leads us to the path of our destiny. It is, if you're passionate about something, if something lights up your fire, then that is the life you're meant to live. If a business or a project is that what really lights you up, then you really are meant to live that. And you can ignite that passion in your employees, in the people that you lead, in the people that are around you. So that's my final thoughts. For more information, do text that number or go to www.introwithjessica.com and you'll schedule a call with me, or the text message is 31996 and you just text PALCUS and you'll receive a text from me, and soon thereafter I'll send you some videos. So thank you.
Well, this has been energizing, to say the least. You guys are like seeing this over video, and I'm sitting next to her.
And it's a little hot. I should
it's
put
hot
the
with the
AC.
lights.
I should put the AC.
Yeah, and she doesn't use the AC like I do, so the lights, the cameras here, it's been amazing. I, as one of the trio here with Janet and Angela, I am like overwhelmed with the response, the interaction, and just the purpose. I think that we all now feel that we have a mission to go out there, represent Portugal, represent our heritage, guide our granddaughters, our daughters, even our sons on this, because it's important. I just am beyond words, and usually I'm not lost for words, but I must say I come with a full heart. I leave here this meeting or this talk with a full heart, with so ideas I had been like rolling in my head during this whole time for future talks that we will have on this within the Alliance. We're going to be working with other groups. I have already been reaching out for some speakers, and we're trying to put all this together to really start focusing in January of 2021. As we're coming upon the holiday season, we have the time now to really focus and roll out a really good program. So I thank Janet, and I thank all of you. Angela, we can't do it without you behind the scenes. And
yes, thank you so much.
Yes, because this is not easy to do this. We are not trained to do this. We, the last 8 months have become more user-friendly with Zoom, right? But I really do want to thank everyone behind the scenes, everyone that attended and gave us your support today. This meant a lot to Janet, myself, and Angela. And I am now going to pass it back to the brains of this whole idea, Janet Morais.
Hi, ladies and gentlemen. I took the camera off because I'm quite emotional with all of this. And I have to say, Jessica, I'm exhausted. I'm just exhausted I'm exhausted listening to you. And I sit back and say, wow, am I really doing everything I can do? Maybe I need to do more. But I know in my heart of hearts, I was meant to do this. I was meant to build this alliance and to empower women in the US, empower women in Portugal, and just bring us all together. I am incredibly thankful for Angela, all these years that we have been friends, 20 plus years, and we finally come together and built something. And Carolina, we will forever look to you for inspiration and just teaching us. I look at Carolina as a mentor. Sometimes she'll say things to me and I say, I'm just here to listen and learn from you. And this is what we want to do. We want to do this across every industry. in our communities, in the Portuguese communities, East Coast, West Coast, and bring women together, not just at the professional level, but also families of those immigrants, first generation women, second generation women, and just really work with them and guide them and give them that extra push so that we do leave our mark here in the US and in Portugal. Carolina, your words, everything you've done, and of course Angela, who like myself, she's actually muted on this and no camera, and Jessica, I can't be around you for too long. I've burnt more calories listening to you like than my latest walks. Wow, we need her. This has got to be a road show. The road show. We're going on the road, and we're taking you across the East and West Coast US and Portugal, from your mother's home in Cascais all the way up north to my parents' home in Chaves. Thank you, ladies. Thank you, everyone that has been on this call. It means a lot to me. And I'm so looking forward to hanging up, calling my girls and saying, okay, what next? When's our next talk? When's our next meeting? And I'm hoping that in the next year, we will have a live conference in Portugal or in the United States. This is long-term goal, is having one of these Portuguese women empowerment summits. And thank you again to all of you. Thank you very much.
Angela, it's good. Angela, you can run the video, and we're signing off. Thank you.
Thank you.
Little girls with dreams become women with vision. When women support each other, incredible things happen. Women belong in all places where decisions are made. We must encourage women and girls to believe in themselves.
As a student at Knoxville, I'll be positive and kind, be respectful to others, be responsible and ready to work, be a hard worker, and know that everyone counts. I will not hide my tiger pride.
Who are we as Portuguese American women? We take the stage and command respect. We portray our identity through art. We march for our rights. We lead change by example. We break through male-dominated professions. We believe in ourselves and influence others around us. We must bridge the gap between women designing their purpose and women living their purpose. We take the stage and command respect. The Portuguese American Women's Empowerment Alliance.